Hi, welcome to Seriously? It's a series where we're looking at stuff that happened in history and then also stuff that's a little bit hard to believe. And you look at or you hear it and you say, seriously, that happened? And yeah, it did. Today I want to talk to you about somebody that you've heard of before. His name? Abraham Lincoln. President Abraham Lincoln is famous for wearing his stovepipe hat. Most people don't know this bit of trivia, but he used to keep papers in that big old hat that he needed, he wanted to refer to, he wanted to read, or he wanted to speak from. But he also wore another hat that most people don't know about. Most people don't know this, that Abraham Lincoln was an inventor. Seriously? Yes. He was an inventor. And seriously, while you may not have known that, here's another trivia fact to file somewhere in the back of your head. To this day, Lincoln is the only president ever to hold a patent on his invention. Who knew? See, in his youth, Lincoln worked as a boatman on the Mississippi River. In the late 1840s, he journeyed to and from Washington via the Great Lakes steamship while he was serving in Congress. On one occasion, the steamer got stuck on a sandbar, and all the passengers and cargo had to be unloaded to float the ship over the sandbar. It was a long and tedious process. So you get the idea, right? They're going along, all of a sudden they're stuck. Why? The ship's too heavy. Got to take everything off, make the ship lighter, go across, put everything back on. What a mess. This gave Lincoln an idea. What if there was a way to float the boat over the sandbar without having to empty out and reload it? Practical, right? An idea born out of necessity. When he got back to his law office in Illinois, he began working on a device that would do just that. He whittled the model by hand. And between court appearances, while talking to his law partner, he talked about how it would revolutionize the nation's inland waters. The result? Patent number 6469, manner of buoying vessels. Seriously? That was the name of it? Yeah. Pretty unspectacular, right? That's why you probably never heard of the patent. That's the name. Patent number 6469, manner of buoying vessels. Matter of fact, I can't think of anything that sounds more boring. And yet, that was his patent. Lincoln's invention, turns out, was very impractical. And his invention, although he owned a patent on it, well, it was never manufactured. Still, it stands out as a unique achievement. As Scientific American opined in 1860, it is probable that among our readers there are thousands of mechanics who would devise a better apparatus for buoying steamboats over bars. But how many of them would be able to not only create the patent, but compete successfully and become president of the United States? The answer is none. See, it's a great idea. It just wasn't practical. But Lincoln didn't stop there. That wasn't the end of his life. As a matter of fact, he went on to become president of the United States, and you're very familiar with him. But here's what you don't know. Seriously. He was the inspiration for what we know today as the submarine. What? Boom! I know that historically blows your mind because Lincoln is associated not at all with the submarine. I mean, he's not a part of the patents, he's not part of anything, but his idea that he patented that never got off the ground was to add adjustable, buoyant air chambers below the waterline. Stay with me. So when the ship was stuck, these could be filled with air to float it off and raise up the ship. It is remarkably similar to the ideas that were later used to develop the submersible submarine and to raise and lower submarines. So believe it or not, although he didn't have the patent on the sub, it was his idea that helped inspire the creation of the submarine from a patent that never went to market. Seriously, you got to be kidding me. You didn't know that about the president, did you? Now you do. And here's what you have to remember, because here's what it means. It simply means that there are a lot of times that you have no idea how one idea may fly or not fly. You've heard the phrase, there's no such thing as a bad idea. That's a lie. There are a lot of bad, boneheaded ideas out there. And if you have bad, boneheaded ideas, don't share them. But if you have an idea that you think really does have some merit, and you have an idea that you're passionate about, and Lincoln was passionate about his way to get a boat unstuck, go ahead and follow through with it. Because the end result may not be what you think it is, but it might lead someone else to be inspired to take it a step beyond anything you ever imagined. That's why we have the submarine to this day. Seriously. And seriously, God has created and wired you with all sorts of ideas. Don't be afraid to chase those ideas because you never know what might happen with them. I look forward to joining you next time in our next episode.